Alright, so I'm here today to talk about why you can't seem to really find the relationships that you're looking for in life, be that romantic or otherwise. And I'm sure you've heard the saying before, oh, you just have to love yourself and then you'll find love. Well, if you could just stop your knee-jerk reaction for one moment of thinking that that's too simple and not a proper explanation, not proper advice, we can actually get to brass tacks here and figure out a solution. And what's going on is you are making this manifestation, whatever you're going for, more exciting than what you have going on right now. You're making this prospect of a relationship more exciting than the relationship you have with yourself right now. And there's nothing wrong with being excited for, being with somebody. There's nothing wrong with that. That's going to happen because it's exciting. But when you put it on a pedestal and you make it this big thing, then you really shoot yourself in the foot, and that can expand in so many nuanced ways as to how that manifests in reality. Because you can be so needy, you can be, just not doing your thing, and that just drives people away. When you're always available, when you're always around, and like I said, you place it on a pedestal, so it's like you can't get enough of it, so then you're always going back to this person, and then you're just putting off this needy, I don't have anything going on in my life energy. And that's not the energy that attracts. That's the energy that repels, because it's like you didn't allow yourself to feel this feeling of completeness, of wholeness, of security, of self-love in self until you found this person. That's the thing. You didn't allow yourself to feel these feelings until you had this prospect. Do you see how you finally let yourself be the real you? Because, you had a lover or you had a best friend and they brought this best version of you out. That's great and all, but to be dependent on that? No. And that's why you don't find genuine relationships, because you're seeking what you need to find in yourself out there. And it's never going to be found out there. It's never going to be found, because people are not going to be with you your entire existence through every single lifetime. So you never should ever go to anyone for your source of happiness, your source of contentment, your source of excitement. No, a relationship it's like a cherry on top of a cake. It doesn't make the cake, it's a bonus. It's like a whistle or a bell or a whistle on your bike, It's an extra thing. It's not the base that is required for success. It's not the definer of if you're good enough. No, it's just a thing that you can have as an extra option. An option. But our society deems having a relationship to be a marker of success. And if you don't, then somehow there's this kind of subconscious stigma that you're not good enough, that you're weird, that you're a loser because, you couldn't find somebody because you can't do this. And then that just has this snowball effect of where you crap on yourself for not being good enough. And then you continue to perpetuate and manifest that energy into that reality of things you don't want, and finding no relationships or finding failure, relationships with toxic people. And I'll tell you from personal example, because I have had this before. I've talked to I had a recent example. I talked to this girl and we really hit it off, and we were just talking and vibing. And I let myself get too excited about the prospect of that. But there's something to recognize that this reality is an illusion. It's not real. There's nothing real about this. There's no outside. There's no other person. It's only you interacting with yourself, and reflections of yourself and other people. They do exist, yes, but in their own separate, entirely separate reality. So what you're actually doing when you interact with any human on the planet is you're interacting with a mirror. Literally a mirror. Like you go up to a mirror and you see your reflection in that mirror. That's what's happening. So when you get excited about the prospect of being with somebody and that relationship unfolding and all the things, what you're doing is you're being excited about yourself because it's a reflection. You're just looking in the mirror and being excited about yourself, but because of the illusion, you attribute it to the other person. And then you become dependent on them. And then it's like, oh, if it doesn't work out, then it's a failure, and I fucked up, and oh, this is all bad, and I'm not good enough, and oh, blah, blah. You know, you can take it there. You could. But it is just you. So if you could understand that you're only ever getting excited about yourself, take that excitement, that energy, bring it back into yourself. Don't just put it on the other person and make them responsible for your happiness and responsible for like, oh, it should be this, and you need to be this, and you have to be treating me like that. And speaking of which, by the way, that is an outdated modality of relationships. You know, this, oh, you need to treat me like this, and you haven't gotten me flowers in so long, and you haven't done this for me, and you haven't done that for me. That is outdated. That is infantile behavior. That is, it's like you might as well write out a list of behaviors and be like, hand it to the person and be like, here's everything you need to do so that I feel good when I'm around you. Do you not see how selfish that is and immature? Yet we all say that that's normal, that we have to go and tell the person, I need to be treated like this, and I don't appreciate when this happens. No, just set the mood that you want to be in. Be the person that you want to be, regardless of what's happening. It doesn't matter what's happening. If people are acting in ways you don't like, move on. Don't demand that they have to be who you want them to be. Just be you, forget about that, and you will attract the people that actually match what you want from them. As long as you're not complaining about all the things that you see that are, not to your liking. But it's really so outdated to sit there and be like, oh, I'm not getting this out of this relationship. This person's not talking to me. They're not doing this. They're not giving me attention. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. It doesn't matter how many decades you've been married. I don't care. No one owes you anything. Nobody. You should be unconditional with your happiness, your love of self. The source of love and happiness comes from you, not anyone else. Anyone else is a reflection of your self-love. But when you make love the source of love from someone else, that is when you are dependent and you will fail. You will fail. Because no one's going to be there, like I said, for your entire existence. No one's going to perfectly be who you want them to be at all times. And that's just how it is. So that doesn't mean you should isolate yourself. That doesn't mean you should not do relationships. But what it does mean is you should be unconditional with your happiness. Unconditional with your contentment. Say, I am good no matter what happens. I'm good. Life happens for me. So how can you sit there and say life happens for me and at the same time be like, why aren't they doing this? Why isn't this happening? Why isn't that happening? Everything that you're experiencing right now is a amalgamation of the energy that you've been kind of putting out recently. So whatever's going on, take responsibility for it. Why did I create this scenario, this situation? Because reality is an illusion. You're creating all of this. So why did you create it? What are you learning from it? How can you take it to a place of empowerment, of self-love, of self-acceptance? What are you learning? Do not take the route of, I'm the problem, this is bad, this is negative, it's going wrong, it shouldn't be this way, I shouldn't be this. That is all just not gonna get you anywhere, and it's just not true either. So if I could really just impart anything to you, it's just really just, you gotta fall in love with yourself. That's it. That's why people say that as advice for finding relationships, be that friendship or romantic. You have to be exuding this energy of passion and excitement and love and exhilaration. That is the kind of person that you want to be around. Just think about it. If you think about the people that you, in your life that you've met, that you want to be around, what are they? They're outgoing, they're exciting, they're always passionate, they're usually pretty positive. Usually those people are hardly, if ever at all, negative, hardly, if ever at all, complaining, hardly, if ever at all, wondering why things aren't happening for them. So just be that. I don't care if things are or aren't happening for you. I do not care. Just be who you want to be. That's all there is to it. You know, what other reason is there to be happy other than I like to be happy? You know, like what you need the excuse of all these things in your life being in the right place to just finally let yourself be happy? I don't think so. So this is not going to be an immediate thing. It's going to take some time to confront these triggers, these scenarios that you have created before because you created them, so they're going to come back up so that you can react differently. So it's going to happen. You're going to get triggered. You're going to feel less than. You're going to feel anxiety. It's going to happen. But the thing is stop defining that as bad. That is a good thing. It's exciting and beautiful and amazing to feel anxiety, because then you can take responsibility, accountability for the belief system that is responsible, that is generating that emotion, and you can let it go. Okay? You are not a person who has anxiety. You're not a person who feels, less than. All these things, all these negative labels that you assign to yourself, I'm this and I'm that, that is not true. Those are lies that you sold to yourself, that you bought from somebody else. You are good enough. You are perfect as you are, and there is nothing other than that. So just forget about, relationships other than at a simple level. Just engage with people. Small talk is a good thing. This is coming from someone who used to hate small talk. Small talk is vital and necessary for relationships. It is. Stop demonizing it and defining it as this cringe thing. You need to do it. So engage with people at a normal, platonic, just low-key level, and just work on what makes you happy. Apply the formula. Take action on your passion. Work on your limiting belief systems. Open yourself up. And as you open up your energy, you're going to be more capable and ready to properly find what you're actually looking for. Anyways, that's about it for now. So as always, thank you so much for watching.